Welcome back to the Webby O'Neill channel. Thanks for joining us for another video. With that news yesterday on Sir Jim Ratcliffe wanting a Wembley of the North, we thought it would be a good chat because it does split opinion amongst Manchester United fans on whether to renovate Old Trafford, knock it down, rebuild again. So get involved in the chat with your opinions. First of all, I want to know your opinion.
Well, if it's built on the spot, that would be fantastic. Brand new stadium, refurbishing the ground, really short term. That's no good. Long term, we need a new stadium. I think that's what the majority of fans want, to be honest with you, a brand new stadium.
The ambition of Sir Jim Ratcliffe, can Manchester United, can the Old Trafford actually compete with them ambitions? I'm not too sure because it is an outdated stadium. For me, I don't want a new Wembley. I want a Bernabeu. I want a Tottenham stadium. I don't want a Wembley. I think it's got to be looked at what the future generations of Manchester United supporters want. And I'm sure if you ask a lot of the young kids out there, I've got young kids myself, a lot of them all say, well, what a new ground. You've got to think of your grandchildren as well. What do they want? You know, there's a big history here at Manchester United. A lot of people turn around and say it's all built into the fabric, the bricks, the mortar of the football club, of the history. But for me, the history holds weight in the shirt, the badge, the name of Manchester United. And it's up to the older generation to pass the history down, to teach the young kids of the history of Manchester United. And that history will move from Old Trafford to another venue if a new stadium is built. And, you know, let's just hope that the plans, if it does go forward with a new stadium, they're the correct plans, so we're not like far away from the pitch, you know, so it can actually hold an atmosphere in there. But it always comes back down to the fans on the atmosphere. It's up to the fans to generate an atmosphere.
The atmosphere is important, obviously. Until I hear Sir Jim Ratcliffe with details, till I see the plans and that, you know, I hold back on where it should be built, if it should be built in the same spot or moved a few hundred yards. The space is there to do it. But the thing is, you know, they want the Wembley of the North. The plans are there, so he's looked at him. He's in a hurry. That's what's coming out, that he's in a hurry. He wants it built. He wants change. But the thing is, public finance is being mentioned, you know, to rebuild it. There's obviously a redevelopment zone being talked about right round Trafford, in the Trafford area. Who knows what's coming with the help of the council and that. Talk about finance, public finance being involved. You know, that's fraught with danger. You know, the public won't agree to money being used from the public because you've got the Glazers who have took money out. You've got Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who is a tax exile. It's fraught with danger. So until we get the details, I'm just sort of holding back. I'd like a brand new stadium, to be honest with you. I'm just torn of should it be on the spot or should it just be moved further to the north of where the ground is already. You know, they're talking about assistance could come with the form of tax breaks and relaxing of the planning rules and that. But it's all fraught with danger. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe saying he's in a hurry. Well, I don't see this being rushed. I think this will take years of planning, rejecting. I just see it taking a long time. But you just never know. You look at Manchester City, they have redeveloped all their area. They've had tax, well, I'd imagine they've had tax breaks, redeveloping it all for the local community and everything. So it's something I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe is looking at, but it will take time. There is a lot round Old Trafford and the public might object to a lot of the things what Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos want going forward. But from a Man United point of view is I wanted a full takeover. I wanted someone to pump the money in. This can only, in my view, delay things where it comes to the money. When you're asking for public finance, as I said at the beginning, that's fraught with danger.
The one thing that we don't want is to move to a new stadium and have more debt heaped onto the club, if that's a way in financing a new stadium. So there's still a lot of details that we don't know, but you know, the positive signs are he doesn't hang about Sir Jim Ratcliffe. No. He wants to get things done as soon as possible.
That's good.
And like I said before, you know, his ambition is clearly a lot bigger than what it is and what it can hold here at Old Trafford Stadium. So if he thinks going forward, it'd be more beneficial to Manchester United building a new stadium, extra seats, a muted 90,000 capacity, I'm all for that. And I just think to myself, instead of what we want, we've obviously got an opinion on it. It should be more led to the fans, the younger generation, on what they want.
Yeah.
You know, and I personally think that a lot of young fans that we speak to, a lot of them come running up to you on match days. I've seen it myself. All want to have a little chat with you. And you've mentioned to them about new stadiums, and they all want a new stadium. And, you know, that should be the way to go forward, I think. It's just about a matter of how it's going to get financed. And obviously, when we do move to one, you know, the atmosphere. Can we generate the atmosphere there? You know, a new chapter, so to speak. You know, some out there might say, well, it's not a new chapter. The Glazers are still involved. But for me, I think when you move from a ground, the history is in the badge, it's in the name Manchester United, it's in the shirt, and it's up to us as the older generation to teach the younger ones about the history of Manchester United.
Well, the proof is in the detail, and it's the detail what we'll have to wait for.
Yeah.
We know the Glazers ain't going to put any money in. They've never put money in it anywhere. And as I said, the refurbishment of the ground is only a short-term fix. So Jim Ratcliffe's here. He's in charge of the football operations. That's the first thing what has to be sorted out. And I look at that and think, well, that's going to take a few years. So add a few more years on for the ground, the distribution of money, how it's going to be paid for. Really, to be honest with you, we don't know. Because at the end of the day, what's in that bag is a trick. And that trick can be for Ineos to buy the Glazers out. So everything what we're talking about, what we've been talking about for years, yous out there have been talking about for years, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are in, and little tricks can be played, and everything we think just might change just like that. It's something positive, and it's nice to have things positive to talk about going forward. So I'm looking forward to the details.
Yeah, in that article as well from the Telegraph, it did say it's estimated that expanding the current 74,000 capacity stadium could cost at least £800 million and potentially more, while a new ground could be in the region of 1.5 to 2 billion. Where Old Trafford is, you can carry on playing there until the new ground's developed, which is only a few hundred yards away. Or, you know, when you move into a brand new stadium, you know, you could put this into something for the local community. You could even use it as a training ground, you know, a ground there for maybe the youth teams to play on. There's all sorts of opportunities there that could be explored.
These opportunities, and I'll finish on this note, it's all down to the finance and the money and where it's coming from. That's Sir Jim Ratcliffe's first priority. I think that will suck the money away for the short term. So let's just see.
Yeah, just going back onto, like, you know, other people out there who won't want to move from Old Trafford, I can understand the reasons why. And there's lots of different generations out there who've had different experiences in Old Trafford. But my best experiences following Manchester United have been away grounds, not at Old Trafford. You look at Champions League games, away grounds up and down the UK. I'm sure you've had a lot of great memories yourself away from Old Trafford.
I've had fantastic times here, and so have lots of other people. But with a new ground and a new generation, they'll have fantastic times. This place, it's sacred. So let's hope the details are right for everybody.
Yeah, of course. I'd like to think that Old Trafford can still be used in some form of, like, being used for Manchester United. Like I say, whether it's for any of the youth teams, the local community, I wouldn't like to think it'd be just flat and there you go, there's a car park or a new Tesco on it, an Asda, etc. So, you know, there's going to be loads of details coming out in the near future. And I think it'll be exciting times and a good discussion for us all to keep having this going forward. But yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone for joining us today. Get involved in the chat as ever, and we'll be back tomorrow. We've got an interview with Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic. My dad Tony will be doing that. We've got plenty of questions to fire at Laurie, and as ever, Laurie will give his honest opinion. So it'll be a good video to tune into, and that'll be out at 10 o'clock on Thursday morning. Hopefully see you there. Thank you.